Today, I've decided to start a brand new challenge. I have 1 year with my stock portfolio to beat the stock market performance. So you will be able to follow my development throughout my different monthly series that I'm gonna do each and every single month, where I'm gonna share with you my stock portfolio and share with you all the different transactions that I'm gonna do in it. And if I don't succeed, I'm gonna have a big consequence at the end of the period. With this, we will be able to see if I am, as a stock picker, able to beat the market performance. The rules will be simple. I will only invest into stocks, and I will also try to reach the highest return with the lowest volatility. During this challenge, I'll be using all the different knowledge and skills that I've learned throughout the university and college classes that I had. However, in any case, the different strategy that I'm gonna use are not to replicate blindly. So let me know in the comment section, what do you think is going to be the performance of my stock portfolio for the next year? But before to start this own challenge, I had in mind 6 big goals. First, obviously, to be able to beat the market, I need to aim for growth. And as you will discover with my portfolio, I currently have a lot of different value stock and a lot of different defensive stocks. And with the current switch of cycles, there will be a lot of potential possibilities in the next year to come. My second goal would be to have a better sector diversification. As you'll be able to see, I currently do not have any kind of healthcare stocks nor any services stocks. And this objective is linked with my third objective, which would be to increase my geographical diversification. Because if at the moment I have currently many different international ETFs that covers all the different market, I personally don't have any kind of international stocks outside North America except NIO, which is a Chinese EV company. And currently I have 3 sectors in my stock portfolio where I have only 1 stock. So during this challenge, I want to be able to increase my position in other different companies, which is linked to my 5th objective, which is to have a maximum of between 5 to 10% of allocation in 1 stock. And finally, guys, the big objective of this challenge is to be able to beat the stock market performance. Now has come the time to reveal my stock portfolio. So here it is. The first thing that you can notice with my stock portfolio is that I currently have a lot of cash, between $15,000 to $20,000 in cash. I mainly keep this amount of cash at the moment because I want to invest in the real estate in the summer of 2023. But I also have other projects with YouTube that I will soon reveal to you on the channel. For the rest, all those prices that will be in this spreadsheet will be proposed in Canadian dollars. First thing first, I have divided my portfolio in all the different sectors. You see, I've first started with the technology sectors with companies like Apple, Meta, Google, Amazon, Tesla, and NIO that I currently own. And you might think that right now I don't even have Microsoft, Nvidia, and other big tech stocks. And this is 100% true that I don't own them individually. However, I do own them by holding some ETFs. But in this challenge, I'm not going to talk about my different ETF portfolio that still represent about 30 to 40% at least of my overall portfolio. As you can see, amongst the other sectors, the tech is currently my largest sector in my portfolio. I will keep the initial price of my different stocks from today's date. And if I decide to add stocks during my challenge, I will just adjust the price depending on how many shares does I purchase. How does the Google spreadsheet works is pretty simple. You have first the company's name, so Apple with the ticker AAPL, technology sector, so all the different sectors, the number of shares that you do hold, the initial price of buy, of course, for this example, it is the price of today. I've used a certain formula to be able to see what is the current price of the stock. So you have the total price paid, which is the number of shares that are multiplied with the initial price. And you have the current value, that is the number of shares as well multiplied by the current price. And finally, you see the gain losses, so the subtraction between the current price and the total price paid. And you have other and different indicators over here that I'm not going to use for this video to keep it simple, but on your side, you can use it if you want. So as you can see, I have 6 big companies in the tech sector. For the energy sector, I have 3 big companies. I have 2 acting into the natural gas, which are Enbridge and Pembina. And I have Algonquin that is acting into the green renewable sector. After, I have the financial sector that are represented by 4 of the biggest Canadian banks, which are TD, RBC, Nova Scotia Bank, and BMO. But I also have Manulife, which is the biggest insurance company here in Canada. And for the communication sector, I am also highly invest into the Canadian market with 2 of the 3 largest telecom companies over here. So I have Bell and TELUS. For the consumption sector, I only have one company, which is Couche-Tard. For the material sector, I have also only one company, which is not necessarily known by many people, but it is called Savaria. Basically, it's not a company that is known by many, but it is creating some elevators, some wheelchair lifts, and some stair lifts. For the real estate sector, I am highly invested into Ryokan, which is one of my biggest holdings of my entire portfolio. Finally, for my last pick, I have one other smaller companies here in Quebec, which is called 5ON+. This is more about a scientific company that creates some semiconductor materials for medical imaging, but also for different renewable power. So this is pretty much a great overlook of my portfolio. I also have other different stocks that I might be adding soon in my portfolio. So I have Johnson & Johnson that I'm looking at the moment. I also have Pepsi and Coke that would be a great addition to my portfolio. Microsoft could be also pretty interesting at the moment with Nvidia. Right now my stock portfolio is worth about $80,000. So we will see if I am able to reach the $100,000 at the end of the year. Now, what is crazy about this Google spreadsheet is the fact that you have automatically a portfolio distribution that is calculated. You see right now that in my own stock portfolio, I have some big overweight into the tech sector for the growth, obviously. But I also have some overweight into the financial sector with about 28% of my portfolio. And this is mainly due to the fact that I'm investing massively into Canada and the US. And since in Canada, the biggest and the largest sector is the finance, and in the US, it is the tech, this is well reflected into my sector ponderation in my portfolio. After, you can see that the energy sector and the real estate sector are pretty much even, but the thing is that I'm invest only in one companies in the real estate sector. Obviously, I'm gonna try to diversify my risk by buying other REITs in my challenge. As I share with you, I currently don't hold any kind of stocks into the healthcare sector and into the services sector. So Johnson & Johnson, as I told you, could be a great addition to my portfolio. And finally, guys, the last part of this Google spreadsheet is a place where I'm going to be able to write down all the different transactions that I'm going to do in the next months. So I will have the option to buy or to sell, but I will write down all the different transactions and the date that I'll be making them. And since I currently use Disnat, which is a French-Canadian broker, I currently have no commission fees to pay each time that I'm doing one transaction. And guys, if you like this kind of Google spreadsheet, let me know it in the comment section and I will give you the free access to it, and eventually I will do a video on it. And for everyone that is new, make sure to join the North family by subscribing to the channel for only $0.0 to see the following monthly updates that will come in the next months.